today is Steve Krouskos. Steve is a partner with Ernst Young. Steve, we're here to talk about E&Y's 2009 M&A Outlook Survey. And in there was, we know there are bargains out there, and we've been saying for months that strategics, corporate buyers with cash on their balance sheets, now is the time to buy. You guys found that not all corporates fall into that category. Tell me about how corporates are feeling about the market right now.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, in my 20-plus years, Suzanne, I've never seen a deal market like this before. The valuation levels, are clearly attractive. We did find that 44% of the companies that we surveyed or polled, if you will, defined themselves as operating at successful levels right now. Now, peel that back. There's $1.4 trillion of cash on balance sheets of Fortune 1000 companies. So there are a number of companies out there that do have the cash in front of us, but it's a combination of cash and confidence that's really going to drive it. And so what we see companies doing right now is really firming up their confidence around their ability to do deals. So they're making sure that they don't have major issues with suppliers that could take them down, or major issues with customers, or issues that could cause them to fall out of line with demand levels going forward, or working capital issues. So as companies address those issues, and we're seeing them do it now, we're helping them do it now, they'll get more confidence around their cash position, and they'll move forward as we get into the year.
So it's the two C's, cash and confidence.
Cash and confidence.
That are
you better believe it.
Holding back strategics. So of those companies that don't fall into that kind of successfully positioned category that you mentioned, what kinds of things are they focusing on right now?
Well, those companies are maybe taking a little more remedial action. We're seeing them do things like, well, they're certainly doing the things that I talked about for the successful companies. They're making sure they don't have big issues with suppliers. They're making sure that they don't have big issues with customers. But they're also being more aggressive around cost reduction, working capital management. They're potentially shutting down or closing operations, or curtailing parts of their business. So it's those businesses are being a little more drastic in terms of trying to swing left, if you will, on our pendulum
to get themselves better positioned.
Exactly.
In that context, do you expect to see an increase in hostile activity this year?
We do expect to see an increase in unsolicited bids this year. I think when you look at the valuation levels that are out there, you look at the cash and currency that some of these companies, the more powerful companies, sectors have to use, I think we will see an increase in unsolicited bids.
So there aren't as many players active in the M&A market right now for a number of reasons, as we've already talked about. What does that tell you about competition for really attractive targets that are out there?
Well, Suzanne, I think there will always be competition for the most attractive companies out there. I've heard some people say, well, gee, the strong are going to prey on the weak, and companies are going to be bought cheap. Not necessarily. There's always going to be, several parties interested in a really good company. So I think you will see some competition. I think as the PE funds, that's going to be the question mark. When will they get financing? When will the banks open back up the lending channels? And when will they be able to dive back in? I think able to get more creative and to look at some alternative deal structures, whether it's earnouts, whether it's seller paper, and get some deals done. That'll help, build the deal flow and create more competition.
Okay, Steve, what's your best guess? When are PE firms going to get back into the market?
Well, I now. Again, they're trying to find different ways to do those deals, whether it's earnouts, whether it's seller paper, JVs, et cetera. So I think we'll see them slowly get back into the market in 2009, but until the lending markets open up, you won't really see the big splash.
While the credit, are you seeing an increase in your clients in interest in strategic alliances or joint ventures?
Absolutely. I think PE funds are evaluating, corporate partnerships. They're evaluating partnering with other PEs, sovereign wealth funds. So we're seeing all of that.
So you're expecting a better second half for 2009?
Yeah, I'm expecting a better second half. I think, let's be realistic. It's going to be probably some slow going in the first quarter, maybe into the second quarter. But I think valuations are too attractive. Cash is king. There's a lot of cash out there, whether it's in the PE. I think you'll see some alternative deal structures on the PE side. I think you'll see the corporates get back in to fill their strategic holes. I mean, as long as their strategic needs to be filled, there will. I expect to see. I'm hoping to see a good second half.
Steve Krouskos with Ernst Young. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Suzanne.
I'm Suzanne Stevens. Thanks for watching Inside the Deal.